Welcome to The Explainer. We're here to break down complex topics and make them easy to understand.
All right, let's just jump right in with a question that, every single business has to deal with. Tracking employee work time. It seems so simple, doesn't it? Punch in, punch out. Easy. But then you start throwing in breaks and different pay rules and the fact that payroll has to be perfect, and suddenly it's not so simple anymore. It gets complicated fast.
And that right there, that's the core challenge we're going to dig into today. We're calling it the daily time puzzle. Because that's exactly what it is, isn't it? A puzzle, where every single minute, every punch is a piece that has to fit just right. If one piece is off, the whole picture, your payroll, is wrong.
So you can see why this is so important. Businesses don't just need some kind of digital stopwatch. Nope. What they really need is a full-blown comprehensive solution, one that doesn't just record the hours, but can actually evaluate them. Figure out the right pay rules for that specific time. And then it needs to administer all that data and push it over to payroll without a single hiccup. It all comes down to being fair and being precise. So, how do you solve this puzzle? Well, this is where SAP comes into the picture. The answer is what this whole explainer is about. SAP Clock In/Out. It's a system that's specifically designed to be that one single integrated solution to the whole daily time puzzle.
Okay, so let's get a clear definition on the table. When we say clock in, clock out, or CICO, you'll hear that a lot, we're talking about a feature that lives inside SAP SuccessFactors time tracking. And its whole purpose in life is to record time events, make sure they're valid, and then, this is the really clever part, pair them up. It takes all those single punches and turns them into neat little packages ready for payroll.
When you boil it down, the system really has three big jobs. First, it has to grab all those punches no matter where they come from. We're talking a physical terminal on the wall, an app on your phone, or even a web browser. Second, it gives admins the power to manage all that time. To look at the entries, add a punch someone forgot, or fix a mistake. And finally, its third job is to take all that raw data and just clean it up, making it totally ready for payroll.
Okay, that all sounds great in theory, right? But what's actually happening under the hood? How does a single punch make its way through the system? Well, that's what we're going to do now. We're going to follow the journey of a punch, all the way from the terminal to the timesheet.
Now, before we follow that journey, we have to understand the fundamental building block of the whole system. It's called a time event. Just think of it like a tiny data packet. And inside that packet, there are three essential things: who punched in, when they did it, and, maybe most importantly, what kind of punch it was. Like, was it start work, start break, or go home for the day?
Okay, so with that in mind, let's watch this punch go on its journey. It all starts when the employee clocks in. Instantly, the CICO service grabs it and validates it. Then comes that magical pairing step we talked about. The system looks for a matching punch to create a complete block of time. Once it has a pair, boom, it's pushed to the employee's timesheet. And from there, it gets evaluated and sent straight to payroll. It's a really clean, totally automated 5-step flow. To really see how this pairing works, let's look at a real example. So at 6 a.m., the employee clocks in. Right now, that's just a single unpaired punch. Then, at 9 a.m., they punch for a break. Now the system is smart. It sees this new punch and says, aha, that must mean the first work block just ended. So it automatically pairs up that 6 to 9 a.m. work block. Then at 10 a.m., when they clock back in, it pairs up the 1-hour break. And finally, when they clock out at 4 p.m., it pairs that last chunk of work for the day. See? It's just connecting the dots automatically as the day goes on.
So that automated pairing it's really powerful stuff. But we all know the real world is messy, right? It's not always a simple 9 to 5. So how does this system handle all the other complexities of a modern workforce? Well, it does it with some amazing features that are built for total flexibility.
Okay, so one of the first questions people always ask is, do I have to throw out all my existing time clocks? And the answer is a big, resounding no. You've got options. There are basically two ways to hook up what you already have. The best way, the preferred way, is a direct API connection. It's cleaner, usually cheaper. But if you're working with a vendor that doesn't have an API, don't worry, you can use a file-based approach with something called middleware. It's a solid workaround, just adds an extra layer to think about.
All right, let's talk about a real headache, a scenario that trips up so many time systems. Your employee starts their shift at 10 p.m. on a Monday, and they work through the night, clocking out at 5 a.m. on Tuesday. So which day does that shift belong to? How do you keep it from getting awkwardly split across 2 different payroll days? It's a classic problem.
And here's the solution. It's actually a really elegant concept called a logical shift day. The system is just smart enough to know that the whole shift from 10 p.m. Monday all the way to 5 a.m. Tuesday is one single block of work, and it correctly assigns the entire thing to the day the shift began. So Monday, just like that. No more messy manual fixes or payroll nightmares.
And the flexibility doesn't stop there. Not at all. For one, employees can punch in and out right from the SuccessFactors mobile app. You can even turn on location capture to make sure they're actually on site. And what about when someone, inevitably forgets to punch? No problem. An employee or a manager can go in and add it manually. But, and this is important, they have to give a reason, and it can trigger an approval workflow, so you still have that paper trail and accountability.
Okay, let's pull all this together. We've talked about all these cool features, but what's the ultimate payoff? What does this all mean for the business? Because this is about way more than just logging hours. It's about building a smarter business by having smarter time management.
And the benefits really are clear for everybody involved. For your employees, it just makes their life easier. Time entry is simple. It's intuitive. For the business, you're getting accurate and on-time payments, which is huge for building trust. You get the flexibility to handle pretty much any weird attendance scenario you can think of. And you get better alerts for things like missed punches. All of this while being perfectly connected to your main HR system.
And that brings us to the end. I want to leave you with one final thought to chew on. This technology really represents a big shift. It's a shift from just tracking time to making that time work smarter for you. So ask yourself this. If your time system could handle all of this stuff intelligently, automatically, in the background, what could your business achieve? What new levels of efficiency could you unlock? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.